It was a quiet night around 11 o'clock when I was out delivering an order from the sandwich shop where I worked. The music in my car played softly as I drove through the empty streets. I pulled up to a red light at an intersection, and though no other cars were around, the light seemed to stay red for an unusually long time. As I waited, a black car pulled up next to me. I couldn't tell if it was an old Toyota or something else, but an uneasy feeling crept over me. Eventually, the light turned green, and I started to drive. However, I noticed that the black car hadn't moved and remained parked at the intersection. I glanced over briefly, avoiding eye contact, but their windows were heavily tinted, definitely more than was legal. I couldn't see anything through them. I continued down the street, dismissing the encounter as strange but unimportant. A few minutes later, I arrived at the area where the delivery was located. It wasn't exactly a neighborhood, just a row of 10 or so houses leading to a dead end. The place felt unsettling, and if it weren't for the fact that every house had a light on, I would have assumed they were abandoned. The houses looked normal, with no signs of any issues. I pulled up to the second-to-last house, parked on the curb, and walked up to the door. As I stood on the porch, I noticed there was no lighting coming from inside. I knocked on the door, and it swung slightly from its hinges as if it hadn't been properly closed or locked. There was no answer, no sound from inside the house. I was about to leave, but curiosity got the better of me. I opened the door a little more and saw a room and a hallway devoid of any furniture or decorations. There wasn't even a single picture on the wall. Dust began to enter the doorway, so I closed it and backed up from the porch, feeling confused and a little concerned. As I made my way back to my car, I spotted something a few houses down the road. A small black car, the same one from the intersection, was parked with its headlights off. The tinted windows were unmistakable. My heart raced as I realized this couldn't be a coincidence. I started to run to my car, but as I was only a few feet from the road, I noticed something move in the reflection of one of the windows. I couldn't tell what it was, but I stopped dead in my tracks. I was standing close to the passenger door when I looked through the window at the back seat. It was dark, but something was blocking the back window. It took me a second to realize what I was seeing. I turned and ran back to the house, but as I did, my car's back door swung open, and a man in a black hoodie and black pants ran out. He didn't chase me, but instead ran straight down the road and into his car. I remained on the porch, my heart racing, and called 911. At that point, I probably could have hopped in my car and driven away, but I was too terrified to think clearly. When the police arrived, they informed me that the entire street was empty because the houses were new construction. That explained why they looked so nice and not abandoned. What I didn't anticipate was hearing that they had received several reports that week similar to mine. The man would order something to be delivered using a fictitious name and address, then proceed to follow the driver. Although the person had snuck into my car and was waiting for me to get in and possibly drive away, who knows what he was trying to do. What happened to me was the closest call of all of them. Regretfully, there have been no updates regarding what happened to him.